why and how. You hate that word, why, I do too. But I always tell people, why? Why, Lord, why? That's the why.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're with him. Self-indulgence, don't you hear that coming through, Capricorn? They're with him 24/7. Why would they, it's the only word I can get, be jealous of the time he was going to spend with the children?
I could not tell you why.
Okay.
I guess because they're, not with him like all the time, and for him to have to take like a second out to help someone else out just disappoints them.
So, would that indicate that maybe their relationship with Jesus was not pure and guileless? I love that word. I love to say guile. Guile, guileless. They were not guileless, meaning they had an agenda, and because somewhere inside of them, if they think or thought that it was appropriate to try to shoo away the children, they were so identified with him that they were thinking for him and saying, well, wait a minute, we don't want any of your time to be spent in any manner except in the way we want it to be spent. Now, sometimes husbands and wives take on that same attitude.
Right, I could agree to that.
Or boyfriends and girlfriends. All right, give me something about that. How can I love you if I want something from you? I'm talking about boyfriend and girlfriend, and I'm not talking about sexual, honey.
Right.
We're putting that away. How can I love you? Really love you? Because those children didn't want anything. They were guileless, innocents, and they had an inner sense. Okay? So how can you, if you will, I'll change the words, love somebody if you want something from him or her?
That's a good question. You're going to have to answer that one for me.
Okay, so
I don't think that's possible. If you love someone, you shouldn't want to have any expectations, You should just love them for who they are and what you're doing in the current time. It shouldn't be about
it wouldn't be
wanting anything in return.
Right. You did know it, honey. So the love itself, I guess what you're saying, and I'm drawing on, who am I drawing on this morning? But whenever I'm drawing on somebody, but when love is present, the lover is not. When love is present, the lover is not. And I could go into this wonderful, wonderful, I might, before the hour is over, and it'll take me a few moments to tell that story, but it is the most beautiful story in the world. But when the lover is present, and that's what I mean. When love is present, the lover is not. Love, Jesus is love. That's all he is. That's all complete, said, start, finish, dead, alive, open, shut. He is love. So there is no lover present. So there is no distinction between you being an adult and you being a child. All love covers everything. The Bible says it covers a multitude of sins. Okay? So going back to the boyfriend-girlfriend thing, if I'm with you, I can be the guy and you can be the girl, or you be the guy and I'll be the girl, and we're together, then I should not be concerned with who you are looking at or who you're talking to, right?
Right.
Okay? Give me your Piscean response, based on what we're just saying, not because it's true or not true. Why?
I just zoned out for 2 seconds. I'm really sorry.
I love it.
What did you say?
Okay, I love it. I love you so much, honey.
That's great.
This is what innocence is. This is the guilelessness. That is it, honey. You didn't zone out, or you might have. You could have zoned out because you were bored. You could have zoned out because you were disinterested, or you could have zoned out simply because you're Pisces, and that's what you do.
Right.
And
I think I was thinking of something else. You just said a word and it made me think of something else. But
there you go. That's okay.
Right.
That is what I'm talking. That's what children do. Children can be playing here and they see something here and they go off in that direction.
Right.
They don't have a bona fide petrified agenda. I'm going to get this done. Now, somebody might come back and say, well, Paula, that is so la-li-la, but what about all of the things? You have to have goals and structures and those 5-year plans. What am I going to do in 5 years? How do you know you will be here in 5 years? How do you know you will be here in 5 minutes? Aren't you so high and mighty to construct your world in such a fashion? This is what I'm going to do, and if I do this, I will get that.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with making, a life plan. It's perfectly okay to plan and to look forward to something. Not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen, but
okay.
I don't think it's, high and mighty to just have a structure of like where you think you should be in the next 5 years.
Okay. And like we talked about and I'm certainly not rebuttaling you or anything like that, debating you, honey. I'm just saying the Capricorn is speaking that rising we were talking about last week. Okay. If you are following the innate sense of who you are, if you are, you're not going to miss any of those turns, are you?
Right, because everything should happen for a reason. That's going to happen.
So you can't have it both ways. You can either say, my life is so geared that I'm going to be in tune with what's going on, that life plan, I'll give you this much. The life plan has already been given in you the moment you took your first breath.
Okay.
All right, not predestination. I'm not talking about that at all. You've got eggs and you got flour and you got sugar, and they're all in their different places in the kitchen, and you got an oven. But in order to construct a cake, I'm talking about your life. I'm talking about that life plan. Okay, you want a cake. You want a cake. That's the end.
That's the end result.
All right, so in order to get the cake, you're going to have to retrieve a bowl and some spoons, and you're going to have to get the milk and the eggs and the sugar and the flour, and you're going to have to put it together and mix it. Then you're going to have to apply heat. Thank you, Father or Mother. You're going to have to apply heat. Suffering. You're going to have to suffer. If you're alive, you're going to suffer. But you're going to take that and put it in pans, and you're going to put it into that oven to suffer.
Right.
To be heated for a certain length of time. But guess what? That suffering's going to get finished. And you're going to retrieve from that these 2 pans, and then you're going to ice it and do whatever you want to. And you're going to put it on a plate, and you're going to enjoy it, and then it's going to be gone. You're going to eat it, and then it's going to turn into feces. Okay? That is your whole life. That is it. What you were born to do is going to come about in spite of you and because of you. Now, can you give me that back?
No, I can't. I understand what you're saying, but I can't really feed that back to you.
Okay. Meaning that if you derive pleasure from coming up with that 5-year plan, I will make this much money and I will do this and I will do that to get that. If you're doing that because you enjoy it, not because you're attached to it, but it is there because it's what you did,
right.
Instead of the person who doesn't do that. Okay, either way. The end result will be the same. Yes or no?
Yes.
How?
Because it's always like, regardless of, making a 5-year plan or not, it's what you're supposed to do or what you're supposed to be is going to happen in the end.
Right.
Regardless.
Right.
If it's predetermined.
And if you're trying, let me get to this. If, in fact, you've made this 5-year plan or 10-year plan, and things are not going the way that 5-year plan has turned out, something's off or amiss, do you change your plans? Do you change your goals? Or do you accept it and go through the inevitable collapse of some of those plans?
I feel like it just really depends on your situation. Some people, would change their goals and plans. Other people would just ride with it. I feel like I would be one of the people that would try to change my goals and maybe see if I could do something else. But I just feel like it's all going to have the end result. It's going to be the same regardless of if you know or don't.
Barring hazards or calamities or misfortunes, when a baby is born, he or she has come into this world to live, to experience life and to exit this world. Okay?
Okay.
We agree on that.
Right.
All right. And when he gets here, he has brought forth in his DNA and in all of the conditions that he has been born into a history of things that he has no control of that's built into you. Mm-hmm. You, me. All right. I'm driving a point home. All right. Now, during this interim of time, he can make himself less miserable or more miserable. Yes or no? Let's agree with that.
Yes.
Okay. Based upon what?
Decisions he's made.
Okay. And thoughts,
right.
Ideas. We talked about ideas last night. And the amount of innocence and inner sense that he possesses. Now, the inner sense that he possesses, I tell you what it's going to do, Bridget. It's going to make you approach life in an opposite way, a complete opposite way of the way that you have contrived it to be. Now, I know that sounded really psychoanalytic, right?
That was a lot.
Okay, I'll go back to the children. Jesus went around the countryside and he would sit and he would teach parables, and he would heal, and he would help cause blind people to see. He did a lot of things, okay? But he said, the foxes have foxholes and the birds have nests, but the Son of Man hath no place to lay his head. So he was so unidentified with any 5-year plan. So much so that when the Garden of Gethsemane, when he in fact did sweat drops of blood, and he said, let this cup pass from me, but not my will, thine be done. That does not allow for a 5-year plan, but he was going to achieve what he came here to do. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, this whole thing about trying to get rid of a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan is not the point. The point is, when we devote so much energy in trying to have a result, a lust of result, because that cake, if it's good, you'll eat it. If it's not, you'll throw it in the trash. Right? And some cakes, no matter if you follow the recipe every single time, they'll turn out differently. I guess it's maybe the heat of the oven wasn't enough, or it didn't stay in there long enough, or there could be 1,000 reasons. My point is, honey, and I'm coming back around to ask the Pisces, are you afraid of life?
No, I don't think I'm afraid of life.
You're not afraid of life?
No.
Why?
What's there to be afraid of in life,
Okay.
I don't really...
let's get physical. Are you afraid someone's going to harm you in your lifetime?
No. I'm going to knock on wood. I hope not. I don't have any thoughts about that happening.
All right. Diseases.
I keep a positive mindset most of the time, but...
Diseases. Do you worry about diseases?
I don't. No.
Okay. You do not think about them.
I'm sure if I went to another country or something that it might be possible, but for now,
you mean you'd get some dysentery or something?
Right, in my situation in my life right now, I don't fear diseases, thankfully.
Okay. Death. The death of other people. Do you think about the people you love dying?
I try not to.
Okay.
Yeah. It has, come into mind, of course, but I don't think about it.
How about your own death?
No, not that either.
You don't think about it?
I don't.
This is presumptuous on my part, and you're probably going to give the answer that one would assume, but are you afraid of death?
Not necessarily. I don't think I would be afraid of death. It's basically after that happens, something else is going to happen to you, so it's like a new chapter. But I'm not saying, death is a good thing, bring it on, I'm ready for the next chapter of my life. But I don't really fear it,
Okay.
So manifest into something
But have
else.
you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about dying?
Death. Yeah.
Because if you've thought about death, in any serious 5 minutes worth of thinking about it, you had to think about life and the purpose. Don't you just love it? I know I got a purpose here, I just don't know what it is. What is your purpose for being alive, Bridget?
I could not tell you my purpose for being alive, but...
That's exactly right. And you say that again. Say it again.
I could not tell you my purpose for being alive.
And if you can't tell you, there's not a single other soul walking on 2 legs that can tell you.
Right.
All right? you're experiencing that purpose as you live and breathe. You know, if you're here, the purpose is you're here.
Right.
All right? So, and there is a certain life plan for you. It may be 40 when it's up. It may be 78 when it's up. But you're not privy to that information. And if you were privy to that information, it would not change that information, even though people would like to think, oh, if I knew I had 6 months to live, I would do this and this and this. You cannot do any more than what you're going to do. Any more than if you put these ingredients together and put them in the oven and cook it for 25 minutes, a cake is going to come out of there.
Right.
All right? We came to the earth to learn how to die.
It's powerful words, I guess.
Learn how to die. Now, how in the world can we learn how to die? Because there's no book written on that.
Right.
And we have no idea what death is or what it entails, so how in the world could we prepare? I'm not saying prepare.
Maybe like parts of yourself dying.
Woo!
You know, like moving, like growing up or learning about emotions and everything, those parts of you dying. I feel like that makes sense.
Didn't she do it again? The Pisces has struck again.
Thanks.
You know, Paul said, I die daily. So, except the seed fall to the ground, it cannot be born again. You know, and that's a favorite Christian thing. You must be born again. But that is hourly. You know, we are being born every moment, as you're talking about, honey, when ideas, crusty, old, diminishing ideas, when we drop them. When we let go of something that we've held on to, or when we forgive. When we forgive. You know, I've used to think, because you got to go to another state in order, but to realize forgiveness is knowing that there was nothing to forgive anyway. Now, Pisces, if you stayed on that one. Forgiveness is knowing there was nothing to forgive anyway. What did I just say?
Forgiveness is knowing that there was nothing to forgive anyway.
Yeah. That is innocence. That is children. Children do not hold ideas that anything has been done to them.
Right.
Or that they're losing out, or they're being neglected, or someone else is being favored. Children do not possess those ideas. Children do